Hi, everybody. Welcome to day three. Yay. Yesterday we talked about, knowing who you are and the fear of other people's opinions. Well, now we're in day three. Sorry, a bird just flew past the window. and today's session might be little, um, a little shorter, and that's okay. But I think it's really important to talk about the subject. Yesterday we talked about how it's important to know who you are. And it's important to find out who you are from the source, right? And so for me, the source is God. And so in his word, I can find out who I am, what I was made for, what I'm supposed to do, that kind of thing. For you, it might look different, but that's just how I feel. And one of the things that we really need to focus on before we go on to create anything, before we try to achieve anything, I think it's really important that we know our worth, that we know our worth. We live in a world that will tell you that you're not worthy, or that you're not enough, or that you need more, or that you don't meet a certain qualification to be considered as worthy. So look at the commercials, right? Every commercial, it's like, buy more, get this, and you'll feel this way. You'll feel amazing. Or, if it's talking about gyms, right? And, shout out to people who work out like that. But this idea of like earning your shower, or, earning your sleep, like the hustle culture, earning your sleep, or earning respect from people. Um, there are a few things in this world there are a few things in this world that make us feel like we're enough, that we're worthy. Everything else, because of marketing, because of money, because of somebody wanting you to join something, it's like, you're not enough. Come join this and you'll be enough. We wrestle because we're getting these constant messages of our unworthiness. A lot of us wrestle with whether we're worthy or not. And I think on paper, like we know that everyone's worthy of love and respect and kindness, but do we really feel that way about ourselves wholeheartedly? And I'm just going to be the first to say, no, I don't. The systems that we interact with, reinforce these ideas that we're not worthy. You look at social media, for example, and I hate to keep bringing social media to the forefront, but oh, this thing didn't get as many likes or as many views or as many subscribers, or whatever, many retweets, whatever platform you're using. We're always measuring our worth based on other people's opinions, other people's approval, other people's ideas of what is shareable or not. If you're working for if you're like someone who works in social media, they'll look at how many followers you have, they'll look at how much engagement you get on your posts and things like that to determine if you're worthy or not to work with. We're constantly measuring our worth. We're constantly using the world standards, to determine if we're worthy. And so businesses use social credit. They do. They use social credit. They won't even look at, like, I wanted to get a book published, and I was looking into book publishing, and the thing has changed. It has changed. The system has changed. Publishers want you to already have a following. They want you to already have, thousands and thousands of followers or thousands of readers, because I guess for them, that's less work that they have to do in marketing. So if you already have a following, that's guaranteed money in their pocket, right? And so on one hand, I get it, but on the other hand, it's kind of disheartening, because it kind of makes you feel like if you haven't done the work to say, hey, like me, like my stuff, follow my things, I'm good, I'm worthy enough. Um, if you haven't done that work, it makes you feel like, should I really be invested in this? And then to be invested in this takes a lot of energy, a lot of emotional energy, to be like, hey, I'm performing for you, so you like me, please follow me. It could be really draining, really draining. And so, like I said, we already struggle with our worthiness on a personal level and a communal level. And now, if you're looking to be a creative, if you're looking to be, considered for this big platform, you already have to be likable and acceptable and considered worthy by other people. And sadly, if we're not careful, we can use these things and other things to determine our worth. But that's the thing. That's the thing that we all need to get in our head, is that you can't earn your worth. There's no way that you can earn your worth. It's not possible. It's not possible. Because you're worthy. And again, I'm going back to the person who made me, my creator, right? I couldn't will myself to be created. You know what I mean? Left to the thoughts and opinions of other people, I'm not worthy to live. I'm sure there are people who hate me, you know what I mean? Who don't want to see me thrive, who don't want to see me happy or joyful, and maybe not even want to see me alive. I don't know. But left to those people, they would determine that I'm not worthy. And um, left to myself, I would, say that I'm not worthy because of X, Y, and Z. Like I didn't meet the benchmark. I didn't meet the qualification. I didn't meet the standard. Hey, Marcus. I'm trying to sweat for Marcus. He's telling me my hair looks nice. Thank you. I didn't meet the standard. And so therefore I don't find myself worthy. And so if I'm not doing the work myself to reinforce this idea that I'm born worthy, that I can't earn it, then I'll be tap dancing for everybody. I'll be performing for everybody to see, if it's true that I am worthy. So because you were created, you're worthy. So the chances of you being born are, let me make sure I have this right, 1 in 400 trillion. There's a 1 in 400 trillion chance that you were conceived and born. That means you have more chance of being struck by lightning twice than being born, than existing. There's a lot of stuff that goes into conceiving a person. Like, I get it. I get that people sometimes feel like they accidentally got pregnant, right? But conceiving a person takes a lot of things. Chemically, it has to be right. The temperature has to be right. Like there's so many factors that go into making a person. And then even more chances of you surviving gestation, right? Like it's a harder chance for you to even thrive and survive being in your mother's womb. Anything could go wrong, Sadly, a lot of people, experience miscarriages and things like that. So you being born, it's a 1 in 400 trillion chance of you existing today. Then outside of the womb, right? Not only do you have to be born, you have to survive your infant years, your toddler years, like to get to this point. Like, there are plenty of things that I've done in my life where I could have just been gone out of here, right? But God saw fit to have me here. And so what does that mean? It means that you have worth. There's a reason why you're here. Like you're purposed. In Psalms it says, God knit you together. You don't accidentally knit someone together, right? You don't, or something, or blanket, whatever, like pot holder. You don't accidentally knit those together. It takes time, it takes skill, it takes effort. And there are also many different kind of stitches that you can try, right? So like, just think of how unique you are. The shape of your eyes, the molding of your face, your mouth, your teeth, like your voice, all of these things, the way that your body's built, your personality, all those details went into you being created. You weren't just made, you were created. And that's the difference. Like you are a work of art and you are so important, so different than anybody besides you. You could have a twin brother or sister and you two will still totally be different. There's no way that anyone ever that has existed before or will exist will be like you. And so kind of sitting in that, it can seem overwhelming because like, okay, well, God, why did you make me? Like, what is the purpose of you making me? Like the idea of proving our worth seems so counterintuitive because it is. We were never supposed to prove our worth. There's nothing that we can do to make ourselves more or less worthy. There's nothing that anybody can do for you or to you or proving to you that they're worthy. There's nothing. Like if they exist, they are worthy. We did nothing to earn it. No credentials, no college degree, no achievements in life, again, can make you more worthy. To other people, absolutely, because we have our own system, we have our own beliefs, we have our own ways of determining whether someone's worth our time, our energy, our resources. And to some extent, I understand that. But I'm talking about just being worthy of life, worthy of love and respect, just basic human worthiness. We did nothing to earn it. No money, degree, accomplishment, acceptance, nothing can make you more worthy. And so, yes, at the point of conception, God said you were worthy. That's just it. It's just that simple. And no failure or criticism can take it away. And I mean, the thing is, I feel like it's important to know our worth because if we don't, like I said, we'll forever be trying to earn it. We'll forever be trying to chase down people, situations, jobs, these worldly standards, which change all the time, right? So what today could be like, oh, if you have a college degree, you're worthy, right? Tomorrow could be like, oh, if you're an entrepreneur, you're worthy. to like the next day could be like, oh, if you're a stay-at-home mom, you're worthy. Like when you put your worth into ever-changing benchmarks, you'll never be satisfied. You'll never be good enough. You'll never be good enough. And I really don't feel like our creator put us here to judge ourselves and determine whether or not we're worthy. Again, we don't have the credentials to determine who's worthy or who's not. We don't. We're human. Like, we're mere humans. We're fickle. We're always changing our minds about ourselves, let alone other people, So it's really important not to put that trust in man, not to put that trust as in that stock in what other people say. And again, I also understand that we're human. So we are going to care about what people say, but our worth should not be we should not give our worth to be held in the hands of human beings or systems that don't even really care about you. Really, they just care about you being productive. Like, you're worth more than just productivity. You're worth more than just what you produce, what you make, what you do for other people. You know what I mean? When babies are born, you would not look at a baby. Babies are useless. Okay, let's start there. They can't do anything for themselves. They poop and pee on themselves. They require so much attention and affection and just care for you. They depend on you for everything. Do we ever look at babies and say you're not worthy? No, right? We understand that because they exist, they're worthy. But somehow when we age, we become way meaner to ourselves, let alone like people we know. You know what I mean? Like, the benchmark, we change so much. Like, you go from being a toddler who's loved and appreciated, and then, at some point at 5 or 6 or 7, now I have to get good grades to get love. Now I have to achieve this stuff to get love. Now I have to do my chores in order to be lovable. And so it's jarring, right? Because kids don't understand that. It's like, no, love me. Like, love me. You loved me when I was a baby and couldn't do nothing for you. You know what I mean? But no, like, I feel like it's time that we get back to that childlike sense of self. Granted, yes, we're adults and there are responsibilities and the things we have to do. But look at yourself like a baby. Look at yourself like a child. Even if you're 55, 65, 75, you're just trying to figure life out. There is no handbook. There's no manual. There's nothing anybody can say or do to make your life perfect, to make no mistakes ever. We give so much grace to children, and we take that grace away from ourselves, and we use our mess ups to judge ourselves. So if we don't remind ourselves of the truth that we're worthy, like I said, we will spend our entire lives searching for worth and relevance, which is dangerous because we will always end up empty in life and in creativity and in any venture you take. If you don't know your worth, you'll be chasing things for the wrong reason. You'll be staying places too long, not staying long enough. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. Right before I got on, I was telling my husband that I was like, should I do this? I don't know if anybody's watching. I don't know if this really matters or if what I'm saying is stupid. And I was looking at vanity metrics. How many people are looking at the video? How many people have, shared it or whatever? And it was really discouraging to me because I was like, I don't want to do this because this is silly. But what I was doing really was which is funny because today we're talking about worth. What I was doing is putting what I'm doing in the hands of other people. If nobody watches it, then it's not worth doing. That's silly. Of course it's worth doing. Somebody might watch it. Somebody might stumble upon it. And honestly, some of this stuff that I'm saying is for myself, So if I start there with speaking these words to myself, then that would be enough. That would be enough. And so I was thinking about not doing it. And so what would happen after that? I would just stop doing it because I didn't feel like I was worthy. It's the same thing. We follow what's trendy and not what moves us when we are, trying to find our worth in what we do and how we're accepted. We'll accept harsh and harmful treatment because we don't think that we're worthy enough. When you don't know your worth, you will let anybody treat you any kind of way because you're so dependent on their approval and their acceptance and all these other things. We'll sit on ideas and inspiration because who are we to do that? If we don't think we're worthy, we won't take risks. We won't find ourselves worthy. We'll be like, oh, that person can do it because they're amazing. Meanwhile, that person over there is struggling with their self-worth too, or their confidence and their fears as well. We're all in the same boat. We're all equal. We're all equal. We're all worthy. So knowing and walking in your worth is freeing. And I'm trying my best to remember that and also share that with other people. So, that's today's encouragement. That's today's session. Just finding out your worth. And again, I find it from the Bible because that's the only thing that's true. Again, my opinions of myself are changing every day. And it's not enough to, be like, okay, today I like myself, tomorrow I don't. Like, I'll never feel worthy. I'll never be stable. I'll never be content. But me going back to the Bible and saying, oh, this is what God says about me. This is what he says. I'm a masterpiece. He says that, I'm free in him. He says all of my other mistakes, I punish myself for past mistakes all the time. And like, God is like, I threw it in the sea of forgetfulness. It's not there no more. Like, it doesn't exist, And so if we're constantly depending on ourselves, that burden becomes too heavy. It's not a burden for us to carry. So I hope this was encouraging. I hope this was helpful. Let me know what you think. And I'm going to keep showing up. Even if nobody does respond, let me know what they think. Thank you so much for watching. And until tomorrow, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.